The Attributes of God, Part 20 of 25. Self-sufficient. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee. Psalm 50 verse 12. Swindoll writes that God has self-sufficient life. He is not dependent on anyone or anything outside of himself for the sustenance of his being. He was, is, and always shall be. He exists, and immutably so. The Holy Spirit is called the Spirit of life, Romans 8 verse 2. Christ is life, John 14 verse 6, and so is the Spirit. Both can impart and sustain life in others without diminishing themselves. God's self-sufficiency, an incommunicable attribute, reminds us that he is totally independent of everyone and everything. Certain people may be called self-sufficient, but finite humans are always totally dependent on God for absolutely everything, including their next breath, Job 12 verse 10, Acts 17 verse 25. These incommunicable characteristics are unique to God. So God does not ask us to possess, develop, imitate, or express his incommunicable attributes. But he does expect us to grow in knowledge of him, which includes learning about his incommunicable attributes. Our all-sufficient God assures us that if we take care of his spiritual purposes such as the pursuit of sanctification, Hebrews 12 verse 14, he will provide for all our needs, from daily food and clothes to our deepest feelings of inadequacy, Matthew 6 verses 25 to 34, Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7. We gain this conviction through a right belief about God's attributes which undergird his sufficiency for us. Tozer recognized this fact when he wrote, "The man who comes to a right belief about God is relieved of 10,000 temporal problems, for he sees at once that these have to do with matters which at the most cannot concern him for very long." Swindoll, C. R., and Zuck, R. B. Understanding Christian Theology. Nashville, Tennessee, Thomas Nelson Publishers. Spurgeon, commenting on this verse, writes, "Strange conception, a hungry God. Yet if such an absurd ideal could be truth, and if the Lord hungered for meat, he would not ask it of men. He could provide for himself out of his own possessions, he would not turn suppliant to his own creatures. Even under the grossest ideal of God, faith in outward ceremonies is ridiculous. Do men fancy that the Lord needs banners, and music, and incense, and fine linen? If he did, the stars would emblazon his standard, the winds and the waves become his orchestra, 10,000 times 10,000 flowers would breathe forth perfume, the snow should be his alb, the rainbow his girdle, the clouds of light his mantle. O fools and slow of heart, ye worship ye know not what. For the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. What can he need who is owner of all things and able to create as he wills?" Thus overwhelmingly does the Lord pour forth his arguments upon formalists. Related resources. Self-sufficiency. The Self-Sufficiency of God by A. W. Tozer. Of the Sufficiency and Perfection of God by John Gill.